What's going on, y'all? Apparently, people are writing books about the quartering. Not for real. I want to check this out because I think it's going to be quite hilarious. Somebody's doing a review, and I want to see what they have to say, what's in the book. I heard about it, but I wasn't going to go read a quartering book. So let's see this Luther Morgan video with him talking about it so we don't have to.
Hey guys, Luther Morgan here, and today I'll be discussing The Quartering Exposed, the making of an internet lolcow. I'll be getting into, is this a good book? Who is this book for? And is it worth your time? And is it worth the price of $21.67?
Damn.
A quick disclaimer. I am the author of Lolcows, the internet's never-ending tragedy.
It's an expensive ass book. Maybe I need to start writing some books, bro. I got a comic book that I don't never promote.
Having written a book on lolcows, and that book features The Quartering, this book could be considered a competitor to my book. So keep that in mind. I am a biased source. Now that this disclaimer is out of the way, let's talk about this book. The author is credited as Snack Bottle, but published by Sam Shadow. He has written a number of books on Amazon. Some are true crime. Some are about internet phenomenon like Chris Chan, Nikocado Avocado, and Cyrax. The book on Cyrax actually has the most reviews, and they are favorable. The book on The Quartering is so new that there are no reviews on Amazon, and it only came out 2 weeks ago. There are also events in this book that have happened literally this month, August of 2026. So it's very up to date. The book claims to be the most organized expo.
The cover looks cool. Blurred out his face so he can't sue. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Bunch of oranges smashed onto the floor. Shredding paperwork. Got a bear in his hand. Insane. But kind of accurate.
On The Quartering ever assembled. It certainly is quite long at 550 plus pages. However, the actual text is double spaced. If it was normal spaced, it would probably come in around 350 pages. The book goes through chronological order, reviewing Hambly's descent into lolcow status. It has a good accounting of every major controversy, creator crossover, and inciting event. There is material in here that even I didn't know about. As a detailed overview, that is where the book shines and has its best moments. Many of the chapters do have a good narrative. I enjoyed the juxtaposition of Hambly versus Luke at Amfest. I enjoyed reading many of the Hambly's clout chasing events and pining after figures like Steven Crowder and Tim Pool, and even Nick Rekieta. I learned new things, like how Hambly broke a review embargo with Daily Wire after his Gina Carano interview, basically cutting him off from future collaborations with them. I learned about how Hambly was recycling articles and essentially plagiarizing other writers at the Publica. I didn't know that. Also, other crowdfunding schemes that he was involved in that I didn't even know about. So there is something to be learned in this book. Many of the
Damn. Is that much stuff? I bet you they probably gonna do a sequel too. And to think all of this could be avoided if the Quartering just stayed his ass off the internet. That's it. That's all you had to do, bro. Stay off the internet. But nah.
titles of the chapters are also fun and creative. The author does a really good job highlighting Hambly's hypocrisy on many issues, his many contradictions and character flaws. There are some good zingers scattered throughout as well. Like on page 75 to 76, when recalling the medical call, money again appeared where ordinary social competence had failed. I thought that was a good line. Perhaps my favorite chapter was chapter 29, The Man in the Direct Message, which highlights Hambly's weird parasocial dynamics. A great line was, quote, "Sometimes a larger figure liked or reposted Jeremy's promotional message. Hambly treated the interaction as personal recognition, even when any creator would welcome free distribution to a 1 million subscriber channel. A commercial retweet became friendship because friendship was the interpretation he needed," end quote. And another great line, quote, "He confused being noticed with being welcomed," end quote.
Damn.
Now, let's get into my issues with the book. And it starts with the book.
Means no one had a genuine connection with the quarter. Damn. That sucks. That has to be like a sad world to live in. Because if you think about it, well, most of his friends, they are critiquing him now. And it's his fault. I'm not going to make it seem like he's super innocent or anything, right? And I'm not going to make it seem like I hate him. And I think that he's the worst person in the entire world. He has done a lot of foul things and he's made a lot of mistakes that I think could be as simple and handled if he just stayed his ass off of Twitter. Just don't go on there. Make your videos. Leave. Is that simple? Make your videos. Go on about your day. But this guy, he be wilding.
Book's greatest utility, a source of information. The problem with it as a source of information is, well, where do I start? There are no citations or bibliography. So finding out where information came from is impossible to vet. Now, somebody like me who's very familiar with Hambly can determine what's accurate and what's not. And the book appears to be very accurate. It just needs citations. The other issue is people come into the story with little explanation. Other content creators come into the story with no context around who they are or why they are important. For example, there's a chapter titled Release the Venti, and it reviews Brittany Venti and her involvement in the quartering saga. It just name drops a bunch of creators like Chrissy Meyer, Nick DeOrio, and Friday Night Tights without explaining who they are or how they are important. Those words and names mean something to me because I'm familiar with the saga, but to a layperson or someone unfamiliar and wanting to learn, they could become very confused. It does feel like it was written by or for people already familiar with the saga. For example, there is a chapter on the quartering deleting TISM called TISM Disappears. However, the author never tells us what TISM stands for, the Incredible Salt Mine. The author doesn't provide context for who was Bering and Count Dankula or, what they talked about on the show. Some sections are detailed and give good explanations. However, others, like Hambly's pooping his pants at Walmart story, only got 2 pages. Almost like everybody has already heard this. Let's move along. There are a few technical issues.
Which a lot of people have heard. I ain't gonna front. That's a wild story right there, bro. And didn't he come on in and tell people that? He decided to come out and put that information out? Like, yo, the quartering is a wild man, bro. He's a different type of individual. Real talk.
For example, the table of contents has the wrong page numbers. So chapters appear on different pages. Somehow the count got messed up. There are also some inconsistencies like referring to Kino Casino as Kino and then other times as Casino. Sometimes the quartering is referred to as Jeremy or Hambly. You have to pick an abbreviation.
Maybe AI did it. Maybe AI made this book. I do be thinking about that a lot when I see people pushing books out there in the world. Like, did they use AI to make this? Is that what this is?
And stick to it. Am I in the book? No. Even in the chapters related to the coffee brand coffee exposure, I'm not there. Nor is Hambly's attempt to silence me by taking down 4 of my videos or my first video on CBC, which became the Unsolved Coffee series. The main problem with the book is it doesn't have a central narrative. It is very much this happened, then this happened, then this happened. The chapters are very short and focus on singular events instead of collating them into stages of Hambly's life or having them ratchet up and build on each other. Post-Amfest Hambly, say December 2025 to January 2026, is really when Hambly went into lolcow overdrive, in my opinion. And the book's last third is dedicated to post-Amfest. However, the last third doesn't feel any different than the first third because it's all downhill, the whole book. There is no rise and fall. It's just all one slope downward. There isn't a defining line on when Hambly crossed over into lolcow status, or even comparing Hambly to other lolcows. To give the book the best possible latitude, it really feels like a really good first draft. There is material here, and I think lots of what is presented could be expanded on, which would actually make the book longer in some areas. I would recommend to the author to continue to develop the ideas and events, maybe cut down some chapters, add more analysis, add citations, and I think it could be a really good book. My rating would be 2 out of 5. The 2 stars being I was able to learn
2 out of 5? What's that, like a 40%? That's not that good.
something new. So there is still lots of info in there, and it made me laugh in some parts. It has good bones, but I don't want to buy a first draft. I want to buy a finished product. Would I buy it? Only if you really want something that is a piece of internet history or are desperate for Hambly material. I appreciate you guys stopping in. I'm glad to be back. More content will be on.
Yeah. Overall, don't seem like it's a good book, but he did say it had new information in it. Did say that it had info that you could find out. The fact that this guy, the quartering, has been wilding out so much that you could write books on him, that's insane. That is straight insane. But that's my opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section. Hit the like button, share the video, all that good stuff.